Megyn Kelly has some harsh takes on AOC fans, the likes of Ariana Grande, who she says, and I quote, "I think that Ariana Grande needs to put more thought into how to add 1/2 an ounce of fat back onto her body than she does thinking about President Trump being impeached."
Supporting Zohran, and we all support Zohran because supporting Zohran is a vote for a New York for all of us. Make sure you vote early, June 14th, or you can vote on election day, June 24th. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And speaking of fat, Sarah said, AOC got fat AF, LOL. Go big girl, what you gonna do?
On the ceasefire, the president posted on Truth Social that there is a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran. Do you believe that?
He also said that it was a war. And I think that the President of the United States admitting that he unilaterally brought the United States into a war without congressional approval is a very grave public admission. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional.
The Congresswoman also writing on Twitter, it is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment.
But shortly thereafter, AOC responds to Trump's blistering criticism over her calls for his impeachment by reminding everyone, I'm just a silly girl. Tee-hee. Silly girl. Tricks are for kids. Hey, I don't know why that silly commercial stuck in my brain from back when I was a kid. But speaking of kids, the internet is buzzing with talks of AOC not only gearing up for a presidential campaign run, but also preparing for a baby shower, it seems, and becoming even more of a motherfucker after rumors swirl that the worst thing that has ever happened to Queens, New York is possibly expecting. And would you look at that glow? That's quite a warm gesture and long hug for these two socialists. Maybe he's her baby daddy. But I guess the question that the internet wants to know the answer to, everybody online asking now, is who wore it best? This post here says, as long as we're body shaming, here's Laura Loomer in a similar red dress, looking easily twice the size of AOC, who still has her heart instead of a lump of coal like good old Laura. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. But can I get a quick show of hands? Anybody? Maybe not. How many of you think AOC pulled off the red dress way better? And for a quick comparison, here's AOC before in a red dress a few years ago, and here's AOC now in a red dress. She's really packing on them pounds, isn't she? I guess being a Democrat has its drawbacks and consequences. But who really gives a shit anyway? I mean, because better yet, how many of you don't even give a damn and would rather see AOC removed from Congress? And this would be the last time we ever speak of her. Yeah, I honestly think that's the better question to ask here. And who knows? It could be highly likely after Benny Johnson shared this fiery post and says, President Trump just ended the careers of AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Ilhan Omar in a single Truth Social post that says, stupid AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her rantings is all of the victories that the USA has had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she's not qualified for office, but nevertheless, far more qualified than Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country, yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world, if it's even rated at all. And speaking of being removed from Congress, or in the country for that matter, who here would like to see Ilhan Omar deported? Look at this one here where American AF says, Ilhan Omar will never recover from this, and posts this exchange where the Somalian refugee turned incestuous sister wife says to President Trump, you've trafficked in hate your whole life against Jews, Muslims, indigenous, immigrants, black people, and more. I learn from people impacted by my words. When will you? But gets immediately shut down and put back in her place with this reply from Imam of Peace, self-proclaimed peace advocate who calmly reminds the immigrant how it is amazing what time can do. Little girl from the deserts of Somalia speaking like that to the president of the United States. Doesn't she know, or can she not remember how if you had tweeted that to President Farmajo of Somalia, he would have applied Sharia law onto you? The very law you cherish so much. He says, behave yourself, guest. But I digress, folks. Back to Trump laying waste to these dumb bitches, and the rest of his post here says, how dare the mouse tell us how to run the United States of America? We're just now coming back from the radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamala, and the autopin in charge. What a disaster it was. AOC should be forced to take the cognitive test that I just completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of my physical, as the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she represents, in which she never goes to anymore. She better start worrying about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. And Chuck Schumer was hospitalized yesterday. Maybe this will be a sign telling him to quit now and just retire and get out of our hair. But President Trump continues on and says, she and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. So go ahead and try impeaching me again. Make my day. And, well, obviously, we know how well that worked out for the Dems and dismantled squad. But in case you missed it, Democrats tried to impeach President Trump again. But Byron Donald says here, we voted them down, as our commander-in-chief used his constitutional authority to obliterate the Iran nuclear weapons program. But simply put, this was not an impeachable offense.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 537, resolved that Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors.
The resolution qualifies. For what purpose does the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Scott, seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I have a motion at the desk.
The clerk will report the motion.
Mr. Austin Scott of Georgia moves to lay the resolution on the table.
The question is on the motion offered by the gentleman from Georgia. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, this 15-minute vote on the motion to table will be followed by 5-minute votes. Let's see. On this vote, the yeas are 344, the nays are 79. The motion is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Democrats are flailing. Democrats lost again. Final vote, 344 to 79.
Two, that principle is empty outrage. Okay, and that is AOC's signature cause. That is why for 6 years, AOC has accomplished nothing but a social media following in Congress. Find a major law she passed as the lead sponsor. The best you'll find is an attempt at the Green New Deal, which was a disaster for Democrats. She hasn't done anything effective about healthcare prices that are going up. People are getting 20, 30% increases in their premium. Where is she on that? Rent prices going up. She just wants it free, right? Just makes people angry, just plays to outrage. I don't know what's worse, being so impractical or so incendiary. But the time...
Nothing but empty outrage. AOC is a total failure and a big fat fraud. Guys, I grew up in her district, Queens, New York, and remember living in Rochdale Village and going to PS15 as a kid. I really hope for the best in my old neighborhood, but will encourage anyone to get out while you still can. Please take care of yourselves. And while we're on the subject, Jamal Bowman says, Black people suffer from heart disease and obesity because they carry the stress of being called the N-word every day.
Catholic
And the problem is we are not dealing with America's original sin and its disease of hate and racism towards black and brown people and sexism towards women and anti-LGBTQ sentiment. We are not dealing with that. Your colleagues in the Republican Party do not hold each other accountable when it comes to the racism that comes from the party on a consistent basis.
Congressman, I mean, where are you on
You
the,
can't be calm about this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment
Listen
on
to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If your colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful, we could have a better country.
Jamal,
but unfortunately, we're still here.
Jamal, the hate's coming from one side.
Jamal, I feel your passion and I understand where you're coming from sincerely. I really, really do. It happens on both sides, Jamal. You might think it happens more on your side. Jamal, when I leave the show, Jamal, you should see my Twitter feed.
And they're acquitted. Rodney King, Abner Louima, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, black cops in Memphis. It's not the same. And I don't want to qualify or quantify pain. That's not what I'm talking about. Everyone goes through pain. But the racism in this country is the disease that will destroy us. And it's destroying us right now as we speak. January 6th, everybody was pardoned. Everybody's pardoned. Riots in L.A., they're insurrectionists. But we pardoned everyone January 6th.
So, Congressman,
this is America.
Now, I can't confirm if there's any real truth to that, but I do want to talk about something close to my heart, and that's taking care of you, our seniors, who deserve to live healthy, happy, and financially secure lives. I've been reading your comments, and let me tell you, it breaks my heart to hear about the struggles so many of you are facing. But it's also why I'm so excited to share an incredible resource that can make a real difference. 100% free with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's talk about health first, okay? Obesity and heart disease are hitting our seniors hard, especially in communities like ours. According to the CDC, over 40% of U.S. adults are living with obesity, and for seniors on Medicare, this is a serious issue. Obesity increases the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and even some cancers. In fact, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, claiming almost 1 million lives every year. That's 1 in 3 deaths. But for seniors, these conditions don't just affect your health, they lead to hospital stays, medications, and medical bills that can drain your savings. And here's the kicker, folks. Obesity-related illnesses cost the U.S. healthcare system nearly $173 billion a year, with Medicare spending a huge chunk of that. And for seniors with obesity, medical costs can be nearly upwards of $5,000 per year or even higher when compared to those at a healthy weight. And let's be honest, that's money coming out of your pocket or adding stress to your fixed income, already stretched thin with rising costs, inflation, barely making it, and it being almost impossible to get by and make ends meet sometimes. But it's not just about physical health. Financial health matters too. And I hear you folks loud and clear in the comments. Now, I want you to know I care. So, if you will, allow me to share a couple of stories from our community that really hit home. Judith, a senior from Florida, wrote, "I'm a senior. My income from Social Security monthly is $1,368. My rent has gone up to $1,274. I have less than $100 left. I'm grateful that I'm covered by Medicare and Medicaid, plus receive food stamps and have a Humana Visa card, which helps pay my electric bill and phone bill. If I did not have my Visa card from Humana, I would not be able to stay in my senior apartment." How many of you can relate? And Judith, we feel you, and you're not alone. That's less than $100 a month to cover everything else including food, medicine, emergencies. And Judith is not alone in this struggle and fight. So many of you are stretching every dollar just to get by. And I have another one here from Mary who wrote, man, I get $979.90 a month. I got a bad heart. Having trouble getting on Medicare because I'm 63, but the bad heart problem is for Medicare. And Mary, my heart goes out to you. Struggling with a bad heart and trying to navigate Medicare at 63, that's too much for anyone to handle alone. These stories are why I'm so passionate about today's message. You deserve better, and I've worked hard to bring you a resource that can help. Our amazing partners at Chapter, free Medicare help. The numbers on the screen, folks. And listen closely, folks. Here's the good news. With one simple, easy, and free phone call, Chapter can help you potentially save thousands on your Medicare coverage. Whether it's finding a plan that covers your heart medications, help with doctor's visits, or lowers your out-of-pocket costs, Chapter's experts are there to guide you. They're like a friend who knows the Medicare system inside and out, and they're 100% free to use. So there's really nothing to lose, everything to gain. Remember, taking care of your physical health, eating better, staying active, managing conditions like obesity or heart disease can lower your medical costs and help you live longer. But taking care of your financial health is just as important. Chapter can help you find the right Medicare plan to cover your needs so you're not stuck choosing between rent, groceries, or your medications. And for folks like Mary struggling to get on Medicare, Chapter can guide you through the process. Imagine this, folks. You're managing your health, feeling stronger, and with Chapter's help, you got a Medicare plan that saves you thousands. How's that for peace of mind? And that's what I want for every single one of you. All of my wonderful subscribers, folks, I care about you very much. And it breaks my heart to hear about the struggles, but it's why I'm so proud to partner with Chapter. They're the real deal, and they're here to help people just like you, Judith, Mary, and everyone else watching. So pick up the phone right now and call Chapter at 270-467-2426. The number's on the screen. It's free, it's easy, and it could change your life. Let's take care of our health, physical and financial, together. Call Chapter today and let me know in the comments how they helped you. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, folks, and check out the links below. And at the bottom of the description, there's an opt-in for my free newsletter, and you're more than welcome to join if you'd like and get the latest updates and an invitation to exclusive events, including my free mastermind. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, let me know and subscribe.